Hi guys, it's Nancy, and I'm back again with another video featuring BiBi's Hummingbirds by BiBi Cameron. I love these dies. I made this pop-up kind of card here, but I wanted to make another card with just the hummingbird. Make the hummingbird kind of the focal image with a sentiment. So I'm starting with just a piece of cardstock, and I want to do kind of a ombre background here. So I'm just going to do some kind of purples and pinks in here. Let's see here. Well, blues and purples, I guess. So I'm going to start with, let's start with this orchid. This is, Simon Says Stamp ink. I've just been playing with these inks, so these new to me to try out. And I believe this is Hammermill 80 pound I'm on. And I've cut it down to 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I'm trying to tap it off on the silicone mat. This is the Waffle Flower mini silicone mat, so that I don't get that harsh line there. So that as I blend this up, it doesn't have like that kind of brush stroke. Now these are dye inks, so they will dry back a little bit too. Just before we get into that next color. Okay, so that is Orchid. Then I'm going to go in with the next darkest color, which is Amethyst. And you can see this color is already starting to dry back and blend itself out. So that is a property of dye inks. They soak into the paper and then they kind of even themselves out. So don't worry too much about your blending not being even, because if you put enough ink down, it will even itself out. And then this iris is kind of like a dark bluish purple. And we're going to put that at the end. So now we kind of have this bluish purple, kind of like a twilight background. All right, so we're going to set that aside to just kind of dry. We're going to move this out of the way. And then we're going to die cut our pieces. So I'm going to bring in the big Spellbinders Platinum. And I have some scrap pieces of paper here from some other projects. This is the Spellbinders Essential Cardstock. And I thought these colors would blend or lend themselves to go with this background nicely. So we're going to bring big platinum in here with the dies. And the die cutting sandwich is the same. Now this is the newer platinum, so it comes with the new universal plate system. If you have the old platinum, you can buy the universal plate system, but it is the 6-inch wide plates. If you buy a new 8.5-inch platinum, it comes with the bigger universal plates. And I like the bigger because I can pretty much get everything cut in one big pass here. So I have platform A and platform B here. And all the instructions are listed on there. And then I'm going to put a cutting plate down, which is platform C. And now I'm going to grab the pieces that I want to cut and my paper. Okay, so let's cut these two down. Actually, use that little piece right there. So I want my little guy to be a combination of different colors here. So I'm going to use this teal for his body. Now the teal, I don't know if I have a smaller piece here. Oh, I actually do from the last one. So I'm going to use that one. And you can see, I always say die cut from the center. So we can still try to use this as a matte piece. So that'll be his body. I'm going to move that up there. And then this is going to be his little belly, which is this piece right here. We're just going to use a little smidge of paper right there. Okay, and then we have his wings, and I need to cut out 2 pairs of the wings. So we're going to do one out of dark blue and one out of purple. And then I wanted the orange for his little face. And actually, I think I have a little, we'll just use this again. So he is going to be a brightly colored little fellow. So we'll cut his little face out of there. I will save this for the other set of wings. And then I think that's it for his body. This is his little beak. We can color that out of, or cut that out of the dark blue and then cut it out. And then there is a small little dragonfly. Let's cut that out of that. And a little butterfly. Let's cut the butterfly out of orange. So never throw away scrap paper. I have a little box on my desk, and you can see here that no piece is too small. All right, so I think that's it. The rest are the clouds and the flowers, which I showed you guys in the last video. So I'm going to put my top on here. Try not to bump your die cuts before you cut them. And it just makes it easy because now with one pass, I will cut all my dies out of all the colored paper. Okay, and so the only one I need to cut out now is the second set of wings. So I'm just going to slide these off of here. dies slide off. I think they did. Okay, and I want the second set of wings. Actually, I need 2 of each, so we will be cutting, yes, I need 2 of each. So we'll be cutting another one out of the blue, and then another one out of the purple. Now sometimes if you're new to die cutting, you may hear a little creaking and cracking. That's perfectly normal. That's just the cuts going into the plastic here. That's fine. Okay, all right, so my blue wings are cut, and then I want 2 sets of purple wings. I can move this out of the way. All right, and let's make sure we have all of our pieces here. And what I like to do with these is just give them a little extra coloring. It's totally optional. And you're going to have 2 sets of larger wings, 2 smaller wings or accent wings, 2 tails, and then we have 2 more. So you have extras here if you want to make another bird. You have 2 extra tails here, and then I have 1 body, 1 dragonfly, 1 butterfly, 1 belly, a face piece, and then here are the other 2 smaller wings and his little beak. So now we're going to assemble this. I'm going to bring my waffle flower mat back in. Let me just clean it quick. And I just use a little bit of, this is just Hero Arts cleaner. Somebody had asked me before. And I just wipe that down, and I use a microfiber towel. You can get these in the auto detailing section at like Walmart or something, and just wipe my mat. Now you can see that that ink does stain my mat. It does not affect how my mat works. Unfortunately, these are, you know, this is what happens, but I'd rather it stain my mat than anything else. And I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue here, and I'm going to start to assemble. I'm going to start with painting or coloring his little beak here. And you can use water-based markers. I just have my my alcohol markers are right in front of me. So whatever you have, it will work. And then we have his little eye piece. And for the small pieces, I just use like a little jewel picker or tweezers, whatever you have. That glue will dry clear, so don't worry about any of that excess oozing out. If it bothers you, you can use like a little, what do you call it, pokey tool or something, just to kind of grab that and wipe it up. But it will dry clear, so you don't have to worry about it. Kind of looks like a Ninja Turtle there. Okay, now here comes the fun part where we get to add all the different colors. So we have a little bit on his belly. And I'm just adding just a little bit of color here. I'm not really like, I'm not being like super, oh, let me color everything here. Just a little bit to add some dimension, some shadows. And he has a little scallop on his belly. That scallop goes out. See, I got a little too much glue there. Okay, easy peasy to clean up. Just wipe it up. Okay, so then we have his tail. And I think I want to do a double layer for his tail. So we can go like this and layer it. Okay, and then for the wings, on this one, I did a larger wing and a smaller wing. Well, you can make it a little bit more detailed. So I'm going to do a larger wing and accent it with the purple as the smaller wing. And their wings move so fast. You decide how you want this to look. You can do it the way I did it before, or you can do it this way, or you can just do two big wings. That's what's fun about card making, is you can make it any way you want. Now again, if I wanted to add a little bit, just give me a little bit of a shadow there. And it's drying back, so it's not in your face. And then we're going to put one wing in the back. And one wing in the front. Okay, and I'm going to give that just a second to dry, and I'm going to take a very fine marker. Just color his eye in a little bit. Okay, look how different that one looks compared to this one. I think they're both pretty. It's just double layering and changing the color changes the design a little bit. So there is no wrong way. It's whatever way you want to do it, okay? So now that that's drying, and I have all of these extra wings so I can make more. So I'll set those aside. and then I'll make more later, which makes it very easy to assemble, you guys. And you know me, I like it when it's easy. So now we're going to put our card together. So look at how this panel dried now. It's pretty even. Those purples blended together nicely. And, you know, I kind of want it to look like, you know, maybe it's twilight and he's just going in for the night. We're going to add a little bit of a decorative element here. So I have the stencil here. And this is the Hummingbirds texture stencil. Okay, and I want to lift this ink out of there. So how do we do that? It's very simple, actually. I'm going to bring our waffle flower mat back in. And you can do this with most inks. Not archival inks, but most dye inks you can do this. And we're going to bring in just a little water sprayer and a paper towel. And I want this kind of dotted texture on here. So I'm going to put that stencil down, hold this down over it, and I'm just going to spritz it. And as the water saturates into the stencil, it's going to lift where that stencil is. So I'm just going to take my paper towel and lift through the stencil. And you can see how we have that kind of water effect. And do the same thing, move the stencil down a little bit. Cover this section, spritz it lightly. Now, depending on your sprayer, my sprayer likes to spit water out. You're going to get some bigger or some smaller dots. Okay, and one more time right here. Well, maybe two more times. Let's see. Now, I don't want this getting too wet, so we're going to cover that, and we're going to cover this. I think my spray bottle's running out of water. Let's give that a second to penetrate, and then lift. And one more time at the bottom. Now, the longer you leave that water on there, the more it's going to penetrate through your stencil. And you can see where I had more water in my bottle. I should fill that up. It went through the stencil a lot better over here, but still looks very pretty. And we get that kind of splotchy water effect. And it's going to be in the background, so. Okay. Now it's just a matter of assembling. I'm going to dry this with my heat gun real quick. And now we're just going to assemble. Do this. Do this. I'm going to add these two little guys as an accent. You can see how everything kind of goes together well. And I'm going to stamp and add a sentiment. Now I think, let's use our little labels. So we have these label dies out of my Toolbox Essentials, which are perfect for something like this. So we're going to cut a little piece of this out of white cardstock. So I'm going to die cut that, and then we'll stamp it and we'll assemble it, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I cut out that label piece, and then I thought, well, why don't I use this for my mat piece? So I cut this down to 5 1/4 by 4. I've cut this down to 5 by 3 3/4, and I think I want to go landscape, so we can put this guy on like that. And then I lost my dragonfly. I'm sure he'll turn up. And then we have plenty of room for the label. Maybe this way. Yeah, I think that looks better. So let's assemble everything, and then we will stamp out our sentiment. And maybe the dragonfly will show up. He flew away. I don't know where he went. He probably got knocked off the desk when I was die cutting. So let's put all this together. And see, by die cutting in the middle, I've able to use this paper, not cover it up and waste it by getting those colored pieces out of it. So I feel like it served its purpose without, without having to go to waste. I'm going to put a piece of foam tape behind that wing so it pops up. There we go. That looks pretty neat. Okay, still no dragonfly. He flew away. You know what? I'll put everything away and then he'll turn up. Oh, dragonfly, where are you? Well, it's not under the dies. Not under the mat. Not under the ink pad. I don't know where he went. He'll turn up. Okay. So let's stamp out which sentiment we want. And there's a couple to choose from. And I think they will all fit on here pretty well. Ooh, will that fit? You know me and my birthdays. Happy birthday to beautiful you. Oh, that should fit perfectly. And since I have not stamped with this before, we will test stamp it on a scrap piece of paper. I'm just using some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. Looks beautiful. I think it should fit perfectly. Oh, gorgeous, darling. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of ink around the sides of this. Just a tiny bit. You got to be careful because this is a pigment ink. So if it's not dry, you will smear it. So just be careful with this ink. Probably should have heat set it before I started blending over it. But okay, we got a little bit of a purple haze on there, like Taylor Swift says. Purple haze. Ooh, it is windy out. And then we're going to glue this into place. Is there tape on there? Clearly I must have used this to die cut some other things. There's a big piece of tape on the back. I'm not even going to bother to take that off of there. And when my dragonfly shows up, I'll put him on here. Ooh, where are my, yes, pearlescent. Oh, what color do I want? I'm going to go with the teal opalescent. Sequins. These are also from Spellbinders. I believe there's 3 or 4 different sizes in here. There we go. Nice little smattering. I think that's a word. Sequins. We'll just have to wait for Mr. Dragonfly to show up to the party and then we'll glue him in. So this is using, again, new release at Spellbinders. It's BiBi Cameron's collection, and you're going to get with this. I only picked 3. There's quite a few things in there, but this is the Hummingbirds and Lily dies, and it's BiBi's Hummingbirds, and then the Hummingbird Sentiments, and then I also got the Hummingbird Textures stencil. So those are the 3 I got, but there's a pop-up hummingbird, there's a card creator, there is a build-a-scene, so there's a whole bunch you can get. I just think this hummingbird is too cute. I couldn't resist not playing with him again. Look at the difference in the 2 cards and how you can customize it and make it your own. Both, I think, look great. They're fun together with or without the lily. The lily does come with the dies, which I think makes it an even more exceptional value. And the sentiments are great sentiments for all year, not just with the hummingbird set. So check them out. I'll put the links down below. If you have any questions, post them down below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up before you leave. And as always, I would love if you would consider subscribing if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, guys. And keep on die cutting. Bye!